we're going to have a little bit of dialogue about Birth of a Nation. And there's nobody better to talk to about it tonight than the man himself. Can y'all give a warm round of applause for Mr. Nate Parker? Here, brother. You know, so often when we hear about projects like this, the first thing that people say is, not another slave movie. Talk about why this particular story was important to you.
Well, first off, thank you all for attending and for your time. I don't take it for granted. It's interesting, when people talk about a slave film, most oftentimes they're thinking about a film that is seeing that period of time as the defining context of who we are. But I think that what makes this film different is that it deals with resistance. It doesn't just deal with us enduring what happened. It deals with us actually resisting the injustices that we saw, which is especially significant now because there's so many injustices in the world that we see that need attention and don't get attention. Can I go off script real quick? I'm sorry, I don't mean to hijack or break. I think it's very difficult to talk about injustice, whether it be historical or now, and not deal with what's happening right now. I'll start by saying this. I had a couple weeks to kind of digest what's been happening, really do some research into what was happening, some soul searching in myself, some prayer about ideas I might have had, behaviors that I might have had when I was younger, leading up until now. There's this saying that my grandma would always say, if they do better, they do better, they do better. You guys ever heard that? If they do better, they do better. When I first was met, and I know you guys just saw the film, I'm so sorry. We're going to get into the film stuff. I just kind of got to talk about this for a minute, so just really get off my chest. When I first dealt with, was met with the news that this part of my past had come up, my knee-jerk reaction was selfish. It was self-serving. It was self-centered. I wasn't thinking about even the potential hurt of others. I was thinking about myself. I was thinking about, what I felt, being indignant about what I felt about me, and not even recognizing that this thing that had resurfaced again. If we believe in God, everything that happens for a reason, right? He's trying to refine something, and you bring something out of you. I spend so much time talking about issues of within our community about racism, right? How do we deal with white supremacy? How do we deal with the race issue in America? How do we deal with the fact that we're not seen, that we're not heard, that we are invisible? We don't want to spend a lot of time talking about the behaviors against women, just generally even. I'm not proud of who I was when I was 19, the way I treated women. I objectified women. My manhood was defined by how many women I could be with. I was a dog. And that was wrong. I hurt a lot of women. And that was normal for me. It was just with respect to how I treated them emotionally, and how I discarded women. I was introduced to sex in a certain way, and that was my, where I come from, they call it mouthpiece. Can you get a girl to say yes? And I relied upon that in my adolescence. And that type of male culture, that type of hyper-masculinity where your manhood is determined by how many women you can get to say yes, is destructive. It is bad, it's hurtful, and I think it perpetuates behaviors that are unhealthy and make for unhealthy relationships. And I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry to the women in this room. No, I'm serious. I am. I'm a work in progress. I'm trying, y'all. I don't look at this as, people may say, oh, the timing of this is, no. God's timing is perfect. This is happening for a very specific reason. And if I'm going to talk about, I think her name is, a sister wrote an open letter to me, her name is Maisha Kai. And she says, you say healing only comes from honest confrontation. Well, there's some healing that needs to happen in our community with respect to just how women are treated. Violence against women. And all. To be honest, my privilege as a man, I never thought about it. I'm walking around ready to get in. I'm daring someone to say something or do something that I define as racist or is holding us back, but never really thinking about the male culture and the destructive effect that's happening on our community now. So I don't pretend to be perfect, y'all. Like I said, those comments were knee-jerk reactions, but I'm learning. These last couple weeks I've talked to a lot of people, a lot of women inside my family, outside my family, and I'm in a growth period. And I'm trying to get better, trying to make better decisions about not just how I protect my daughters or whatever women close to me, but women that aren't my daughters. And how I educate men as to how, when they get ready to go to school or whatever they're doing, behaviors that are just unhealthy, Whether it be in the barbershop talking about getting girls, or be on the train hollering at a girl. We need to change the conversation about how we respect women, how we carry ourselves, and I'm taking a weight for that, y'all. I'm not running from that. I'm in prayer about it, and like I said, I'm sorry, I don't want to hijack.
No, this is good, because this is really what the Merge Conference has been about. It's where Hollywood and faith collide. Right. And I said this to you probably in the hallway. I applaud you for, from day one, the first film, the first interview in the Virginia pilot, addressing your past and never shying away from it. I think I personally have been publicly critical of Bill Cosby, no matter what anybody else thinks of it. I've always had an opinion about the fact that he was able to manipulate the media so that he never had to address the accusations that were presented against him. You had your day in court, you were acquitted, and you've never shied away about talking about your past. And I also applaud you today because I was never told, don't bring the topic up with Nate. Cassandra Butcher from Fox Searchlight and other people from Liquid, so nobody said don't talk about it. I didn't have an intention on talking about it because I have an opinion about it that I didn't think was necessary for the film. So I applaud you yet again for addressing something that, and taking accountability of an issue firsthand when most people in Hollywood shy away from their past.
Well, please don't go on. Please. I didn't thank you, brother. But it's about growth, right? It's about, how can we be refined? What is the Lord trying to bring me to do? And if I'm walking one road and talking about justice, but denying or ignoring the justice of another group, that's not right. So I think this is perfect timing. I think this is perfect timing for me to address this thing. And I do think there are things that are bigger than the court. I think they're bigger than the innocence of one specific. The reality is, if as my pastor would say, sin is sin. And if you're engaged in unhealthy relationships, if you're, and I'm not, and brothers, I'm not attacking. You know what I mean? I'm not speaking for any of you all. This is my personal journey. But I do think the bigger point is we don't spend any time talking about male culture, and I'm just learning about it. And I thought I knew stuff. You know what I mean? And you go in my book, Ancient African Civilization, Garvey, Malcolm X, anything you want to learn, Children of the Sun, Egyptian, like anything that has to do with race, I study, I meditate on it day and night. But things that deal with male culture, privilege that's been invisible to me, it's so crazy because it's like male privilege in a way is like white supremacy. In the sense that with white supremacy, you can have white supremacist beliefs and not even know it because the culture is designed for you. So you never even have to think about it. So I can call someone out and be like, no, you do have white privilege. Let me tell you why. And feel like I'm right. But when it comes to male privilege, Not even one time. I mean, shoot, if racism ended tomorrow, but violence against women didn't change, we'd be in a spot still. So I'm really just trying to wrap my head around how I can be a part, how that can be a part of this curriculum of this film, how we can use this platform not just for one sliver of justice, but to deal with all injustice, inclusive of a culture that far too often turns its back on women of color, women in general as well. So that said, I don't want to get a downer. I know you guys saw this film. I know you came to talk about the film, but I don't know. Yes, it's been on my heart. So I just wanted to just share what I was feeling with y'all, because I haven't spoken. When I did speak, it was a knee-jerk reaction. It was the wrong thing to say at the wrong time to say, but I jumped out like, what? No. Then I sat back and I started reading comments. And I ain't a social media dude. I don't Twitter as much as people do, and I don't do. But when I was reading these comments, I saw a lot of hurt, justified hurt. And I know that with those comments, I hurt people that were voted voices. I was nonchalant. In an environment where people, their hurt is real. So that said, it's tough. Growing, but we gotta do it. I gotta do the work. I ain't perfect. I'm gonna keep on trying to expand myself to atone, to be a better man, to be a better man of God, and to hopefully use this influence that God has given me, this platform that God has given me, to really deal with all injustice and not discriminate on the type of injustice that I want to deal with because it's convenient, because I know everything. I'm a work in progress, y'all. So that said, I'm sorry. I hijacked the time. But we can get back into your questions.
Yes. And again, we salute you for taking what could have been your mess and making it your message. So I'm excited to see what you do with that moving forward.